There's been renewed talk in Olympia of the need for tax increases and new taxes, yet we're seeing more than $3 billion in revenue this budget cycle. What do you think about that?
Well, exactly right, $3.9 billion. When you look at the revenue forecast, we're expecting to have $3.9 billion more to write this budget than we had 2 years ago when we wrote the last budget. And only in Olympia can you end up with a budget deficit when you're taking in almost 12% more based on general fund state revenues. And it's just absurd to me that, we keep going out here on the floor and working on pieces of legislation that create new programs, create new task forces, and all of these things that just spend more money. And we just make it harder and harder to balance budgets, despite the fact that we're getting 12% more money. I mean, just about anybody would be happy if their incomes had gone up even 6% in a 2-year period. Ours have gone up 12%, and people say that's still not enough. There is a serious problem here in Olympia, and that's the type of thing that we're trying to fix.
The state Senate passed a bill to scrutinize state spending the same way we scrutinize tax preferences. Do you support that?
Absolutely. We have had this absolutely backwards for the last 7 or 8 years, where we've spent all of our time looking at and analyzing and scrutinizing the benefit of tax breaks. So we're so focused on the money that we aren't taking in, that we're allowing employers and citizens to keep in their own pockets. And we're worried more about what's happening with those than we are with the money that we're actually taking from the taxpayers and spending supposedly on their behalf. That's where the scrutiny needs to be. That's where it always should have been.
Has the governor done enough with his lean management plan to find savings in state government?
I talked about how much more money we're going to have, and if somebody starts doing math, they're going to be a little confused. There's a couple aspects to our budget. There's the general fund state portion, and there's the general fund federal portion. It's over $36 billion in the general fund state portion. When you add federal in, we're up around $70 billion that gets spent every 2 years in taxpayer dollars. The governor was able to come up with $10 million in savings out of $70 billion. I think the only thing lean here was his attempts to find savings, because there's a tremendous amount more savings out there. And I think if we really were taking any effort at all to look, we could find more than $10 million in any one of the agencies that we have in this state.